Welcome back to Etc. Podcast, baby. I'm co-host Mark here. We are on
Yo,
Zoom today. I'm still in the
yes.
back rooms. Mark, if it becomes 2025 and we have not uploaded the final video saying we completed the back rooms, I quit.
I'll finish it. I'll finish it for the fans. I'll be in that jump by myself.
No, I quit ETC. We have to finish it this year.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not joking. We have to be done this year. This is not a game.
I'll finish
that on, and I'll put that on Adam Sandler behind you.
Okay.
But yeah, still in the back rooms. We'll be out at some point. We're on Zoom today. Mark's not feeling the best, so
Yeah,
thought it'd be safest to do it over Zoom, get it out the way for you guys. It's November 4th, which means the time that you're watching this is now election day. So if you haven't voted, please do so. It's very important. I don't care who you vote for, just go out there and vote. Get your voice out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of this episode / by the end of tomorrow, we'll have a new president decided, I think.
Yeah.
I saw some nonsense. What?
When do they announce it?
I think
is it today? As far as they get everything and then they just
because they're gonna I think voting ends at 8 p.m. The polls close at 8 p.m. Eastern. And obviously they start to count those. But then as the other time zones, it becomes 8 o'clock for them.
Exactly.
They continue to count. So it'll be technically, from what I believe in the past, it'll be freaking midnight after they're done counting or even beyond that.
That's usually how it is. It's decided super late because of everything like that.
Yeah. So and they do that whole live show where they're just if you can see here, if Harris wins Wyoming and Trump wins
the blue bars
and Trump wins Maine, he needs 52 more points. And it's all of that. So,
yeah.
But then also I was watching Sunday Night Football yesterday, and it was at the end of the game, every time after Sunday Night Football is 60 minutes, which is that interview show that they have. And they're we might not actually have and figure out the actual president until Friday. The hell are you talking about now? Is because they were basically saying to verify the votes and voter fraud, and they're saying that if one of the candidates is it's not legitimate, then all the other. I'm can it just stop, be November 5th and that's it?
Yeah.
I'm cool,
Yeah, I don't understand it exactly. And really just why it takes so long sometimes. I mean, I understand this whole voter fraud and all that stuff, but it's just I feel we're so far in advance at this point. Why is it still an issue? Why is some of that stuff still a problem today?
And I'm beyond excited for this to be the last episode that's heavily politics focused, at least I'd hope.
Yeah.
Somebody posted a video of our head coach crying for the Eagles, and it was just this is the last football weekend with political ads, and it's just him crying because he's so happy about it.
Yeah, man,
bro,
just anything.
I took a second yesterday to go through my messages and tap through and delete a bunch of stuff, and they were all just random numbers texting me about the election, and it was at least 30 of them, and then after I finished doing that, 5 more came in.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday too. I deleted 2 because it's one of those things sometimes where I see it on my phone and I just pay no mind because I know I'll see the preview of it and I'm I know this is just some voter stuff. Yeah. So I'll leave it and not delete it right away. And then at the end of the day, I realize I'm bro, I got 4 of these Johns, and I'm going through my messages bro, why are they hitting me 4 times in one day about
and they're sending videos now too. Before it would just be long paragraphs of whatever, go vote here, do whatever this, whatever side you're on. But now it's just straight, they sent me the one I was cracking up about because they sent me the clip about Tony Hinchcliffe talking about Puerto Rico, calling it a pile of garbage. Somebody sent me a minute clip of that in the text, and I was that's kind of wild.
I remember somebody said they sent something about it to me about oh yeah, what you missed, and then it's just with Trump's rally, this is what happened, and I'm
I've gotten so many just Puerto Rican specific texts about the election is insane.
Yeah, they're really pushing that now.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win this?
I have no clue, bro. Really? I have my thought, but then I've been wrong before, I think it's to me the answer is so obvious, but then I forget I forget how racist this country is deep down inside.
No, yeah, I feel you on that. To me, I feel what was it? Maybe like maybe like a month ago or two, probably now. When the whole thing with Trump getting like attacked while he was doing it, I felt like at that point I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly who's gonna win. And
that was before Biden dropped out.
Exactly. And I felt like I knew way before. And even when Kamala like said that she was going to start running now, I still kind of felt like, oh, it's not going to be in her favor just because it's making the Democrats kind of look weak because of the whole like, okay, now she's stepping in because Biden clearly couldn't hold his, stand. So I was just like, dang, like it just doesn't seem like it's going to go well for us. But after this past like month and a half or so, I just feel like I completely I don't know, I have so much more confidence in them, but it's like I still, like you said, feel like I don't know because like of how because of how like this country is. Yeah.
If she pulls it off, this is the most impressive shit I've seen. She legitimately had like not even 2 months of campaigning.
Yeah.
She sped run the crap out of this, bro.
Yeah.
Because like what like essentially people start like basically from the start of the year of the election year. So you would say like Trump started his bid stuff like Trump 2024, like at the beginning of the years when he started doing debates and rallies and like since January. Obviously, he was talking about it prior to that, but like really being like doing stuff was like he had a full year.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala was like silent as hell up until like August, September.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yeah, I'm out. And then just.
Yeah. And that's when you started to see everything.
Pounding text messages. She raised billions of dollars like super fast. Yeah. She's on SNL. She's doing all these interviews. She's doing all these campaigns. She's doing debates.
Exactly. Why I believe it's like, it's some reason I have a lot of confidence in thinking that she might win just because of like how much she's like pushing. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the way she's pushing though sometimes can seem a little bit odd just with like the people she has endorsing her, like rappers and stuff like that.
Yeah, but everybody does that.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why it's like we already discussed this on the last episode too. Just like the way politics are even turning into now just seems kind of like a joke. But I guess if that's what gets you the win, then it's like, I guess that's what gets you the win. So I just feel like though she's been putting a lot of work into that. So that's why I'm like, if she gets it, like you said, that's impressive because like she hasn't had a lot of time.
There's celebrities on both sides, like doing their speeches.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So it's always that way.
Even with Trump, with this whole, comedian and that's the same stuff.
Unfortunately, he had like 2 Puerto Rican rappers endorse him prior. Yeah, Nicky Jam pull up, who he thought was a woman. I don't know if you remember that.
I didn't.
Did you see that clip?
I thought I think I did.
I forgot which other person was, but both idiots. But Nicky Jam was at his rally, and he didn't know who Nicky Jam was. Obviously, he was up there like, Nicky Jam's here. Oh, Nicky. She's a hot one, isn't she? He's like, come on up, Nicky. And he walks up and he's like, oh, yeah, Nicky Jam, everyone.
That is insane, bro. I can't.
Which is like, just further like, how much of an idiot do you feel that you're like, I'm supporting this guy? He doesn't even know who you are.
Yeah, doesn't do any research. Not even one person probably came up to him and was like, oh, yeah. Or maybe he didn't even want to hear it. They were just like, oh, yeah, so we just want to inform you a little bit about this person. He's just like, nah. No,
I don't need to. I don't think he's hot. I'm going to talk to her.
Because what was it? But I just find it like, what's the comedian's name that came up for him?
The like stuff about PR?
Yeah.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, Tony Hinchcliffe. I remember I saw a TikTok and it was about an interview with him just talking about that whole situation. And he was sitting there saying like, oh yeah, they said this comedian came up. I don't even know who he is. I didn't even know.
Yeah, he like denied it, but basically like deflecting because he didn't want it to fall on him.
Yeah, but it's just like for someone, at least, and I hope people who can see it and are more rational thinking about it understands that that's what he's doing, and that like he's doing it just to look good on camera, but in reality, Like, I'm just thinking, I'm like, how do you run this campaign? Like, it's your campaign.
And you have no clue.
And you have no clue who these people are that are coming up to quote unquote like support you. Like, what if it was somebody who was a Democrat and then just came up? I'm pretty sure you would not be like letting this person come up on stage and talking about you. So it's like the same thing goes for this. You mean to tell me that you had no idea who this person was coming up and that you just didn't know what he was going to say? Or I'm pretty sure you knew exactly what was happening. But once you saw the backlash come from it, you were like, all right, now I got it.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, like, it's so dumb.
It's funny though, like the way he talked, like he just rambles, bro. Because he was, I don't know if you saw the video. I think it was the same. This was the same time where he like denied him, the comedian, and then he went to like get into a truck and like barely, like he almost fell because he couldn't reach the door. And he was talking. He was like, yeah, he's like, Puerto Rico loves me. Nobody knows Puerto Rico more than me. They love me more than anybody else. They don't love cop. Like he was just like, I'm so Puerto Rican, Boricua. Like, he's just talking as much as he can to help himself.
And that's where I'm hoping, like when people see that, it's like, bro, come on. Like y'all clearly know now who y'all
Me gusta bacalao. They love me.
Like, come on, bro. I think you know now what he's doing. I think you understand the severity of this and why you should not vote for this man.
Yeah. So
yeah,
let's see what happens, bro. Like to us, we're like, duh, you know?
Yeah.
But then we forget it's the mixture of like how racist people can be / how lazy our generation or age group is of going out to vote.
Plus a little sprinkle of just people who also just don't understand and know. Like they're just kind of like naive about it, and they're just thinking like, okay, yeah, like they'll see everything on the forefront and just think like, okay, like that has to be true, instead of really like, not saying like you got to dig deep. Of course, there's people who should to really understand.
Just think, but just ask why. Like if you just question it, you'll get the answer that you need.
Yeah, because a lot of it just is like, it's plain and simple, but you'll really just look at one advertisement and be like, wow, like I can't believe it. Like, okay, I believe that, man. Like,
and they'll be back to back from one another, just talking crap about the other person.
Yeah, and you're like, come on, bro. You really need to understand and see like that's not true. So
we'll see like what direction it goes. Somebody mentioned, I'm seeing a lot of stuff obviously as it gets closer, but like it's crazy to think about. People talk about how she's not qualified or whatever it may be, but she like somebody was like, yo, she's literally worked in every branch of government. There hasn't been a single candidate ever that has done that. And she was a district attorney, and she worked with like different criminal cases and stuff like that. She's worked in, obviously she's been vice president before, so she's been close enough to the role to know what it takes to get the job done. Versus, yes, granted, he has been president before, but prior to that, there was no political history whatsoever. He went from like nothing to the top like position
to literally
with no prior like training.
Yeah, it was literally like him just kind of applying for a job of just like, oh,
yeah, he just like, oh, whatever, and then he got the interview. Was like, oh shit,
like, wait, I think I
actually read it.
Yeah, oh snap. So yeah, I mean, I'll do an interview.
So if he was able to do 4 years, how is she not capable of doing 4 years at this point?
Because 100%. At this point, it just comes to like what people are comfortable with. I feel like. Because I feel like, again, he was already president, like you said. So they'll be like, oh, well, he obviously has been there. Compared to her being a woman and also of color, it's like, they'll like look at that and think like she's not qualified. And it's like, bro, I feel like for anybody, yeah.
And that's just another point of it too, where it's like, it shows like we've seen firsthand and like on a global, well, not global, but like in this country stage and somewhat global as well, because like the rest of the world kind of pays attention to it. But how much harder and how much like more amazing you have to be just to get to that same level.
Yeah.
Because Trump, in general, he was just like off rip, like just a rich guy.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't like from zero to like from nothing to where he's at now. He was already at a base value gonna be all right. And then built up these companies and like built a name for himself for just being like a confident business guy.
Yeah.
And like he's just been mediocre for the most part with pretty much everything, even down to like the presidency and whatnot. And he has 1 million things going against him, of things he said, done, been convicted of, ongoing cases whatsoever, versus a woman who has like virtually no controversies against her, at least to the extent that he has.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh, like she arrested a bunch of like people, like black people in general, like for weed charges, whatever it may be, which is like, she was a district attorney. Like the law states X, Y, and Z. You kind of have to like abide by that. And she stated herself, she's like, I want to legalize it. And in the same case, like, although I disagree with like marijuana laws, like I think it should be 100% like free. Like if you want to use it, whatever, as long as it's regulated, whatever it could be. If somebody commits a crime, like we're not saying don't arrest somebody who didn't commit a crime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People just got to face consequences.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as like,
no matter what your color is, but continue.
Yeah, as far as like what that entails, as far as like the sentence and stuff like that, that's where I feel like we gotta look into it. Like they shouldn't be getting like over like 10 years for something like that. And it's like, bro, like
that's not that. There's people who would freaking Young Thug just got out of jail, 15 years probation after all this other crazy stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's probation, not in a jail cell. So like, somebody, and so there are people with weed charges who did like 10 years plus.
Yeah.
But like, that's like the biggest thing that I've seen out of people talk about, like, as their biggest controversy, which is like nothing compared to like what he has.
Yeah.
In addition to that, she's been she's held, like I said, in all three branches of government, elected positions. Like, graduated from prestigious schools, has a great track record, has been vice president before, has done all those right things. And still people are questioning whether or not she's like the better option over this man, which just shows how like women of color and just women in general have to like go to these crazy ass heights just to get the equal level of like recognition.
Just to get looked at as equal. Yeah.
Like she's freaking doing somersaults over there and then still nothing.
Yeah, that sucks. What are you gonna do? Just gotta go out, vote, people.
I didn't even want to go on this tangent for real, but it's the day of the election. So if y'all don't get it at this, but look, bro, as I'm looking, I'm like, why is my phone buzzing? 2 messages since we've been here about the election.
Letting you know.
This is the last time I hope that we have to go on this crazy long conversation on it, but just want to nail it home before it's all said and done. If one person goes because of watching this, then like we did our job, you know? In other news that I wanted to talk about before we get out of here at some point, have you seen, it's crazy that both of these happened in the same week, but just like the situation with Jason Kelce from the Eagles and Joel Embiid from the Sixers?
Well, I saw something with Jason Kelce where it was something with a fan. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So on Saturday, for y'all that aren't aware or that don't care for like sports or anything like that, Jason Kelce used to play for the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL. And he's retired now. It's his first season being retired. And he's been working a lot of like TV analyst positions and stuff. On Saturday, Penn State was playing Ohio State. So he was over near Penn State's campus for the game to do like pregame stuff or whatever, like for the analysts or whatever. And I guess when he left, he was being followed by fans. And one of them, a bunch of people were trailing him, asking questions, just being like, oh, Jason, like fist bump, like, what's up? Like, we're a big fan. One guy came up with his phone, was like recording his face. It was like, oh, like Jason Kelce, how does it feel to know that your brother's F word for dating Taylor Swift? And he just kept saying it. He walked off and he just kept following him. So then Jason got fed up, turned around and like grabbed his phone and smashed it and then picked it up and kept walking. And people were like, oh, and he just like kept minding his business. Then he was like, yo, dude, give me my phone back. And then Jason Kelce turns around and was like, yeah, like who's the F word now? And I was just like, I don't condone the use of the word, but if there's any way to win that situation, that was just like drop mic, get the hell out of my face. But yeah, I just want to ask your thoughts on it, and then we can have a discussion and move on to Joel Embiid as well.
Yeah, so I didn't really like watch the video as far as like hearing the audio. I think I maybe saw a tiny bit of it, but like when I read the description of what it was, I was just like, I saw the point where the person was following him, and then out of nowhere, it came to the point where he grabbed. It was one angle where he grabbed it through, but people were in the way. Then it had another angle of what it looked like, and like he grabbed it and threw it, and then picked it up and walked away.
Yeah, there's like 3 angles.
Yeah, and I was just like, how did everybody collectively that was in that group knew to share that to then be like, okay, like I'm gonna go and gather it all. But
Yeah.
I was just like, at the same point, like I didn't know about like what he said afterwards. That part
Mhm.
I didn't know about that part. But from the point of when he grabbed the phone and walked away, that's when I stopped. Like I thought that was it, so I stopped watching. And I was just like, I kind of like understand why he did that because it's just like
Absolutely.
you're there, and you didn't do anything to deserve that, and you have somebody coming up to you saying that stuff, and it's like about your family, and I
Younger brother
didn't.
at that.
Yeah, and I also didn't know. Maybe I read it. Wasn't sure because I thought I saw like his kids that were probably there. I'm not sure. I don't think they were. I'm not sure. From what I thought I saw, it might have been, but I was just thinking not only that, but just kids in general that are around, like young kids. Like if you're somebody saying those things and there's even kids around, like I would be fed up too, just with that idea. Like, why are you saying this stuff out loud to me about my family while there's people like older people, children around, like what are you trying to get out of this? And if it has to take me to grab your phone to then smash it, like, yeah, that's what I'll do because it's just like I get this whole thing, like you shouldn't condone violence, but it's just like if you were just gonna keep doing that the whole time, like
Yeah.
what was gonna happen, you know? It just kind of sucks because that's what Alemsi had to go through. But it's just like, yeah, as far as what he said afterwards, like that's I also took that.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna do that, but it's just like, bro, like if that's what he had to do to just like, be able to stop this person from saying this, it's just like, yeah, it just kind of sucks.
It was either that or that he beats that man's face in. And I think, you know,
Which is what I was hoping he wasn't gonna do. Like when I was watching it, I was like, don't tell me he's gonna like turn around, grip the person up or something and
yeah.
throw them to
Which is
death.
like, if he had to do that to avoid, if he had to smash a phone and use that word to like avoid him getting an assault charge slash murder charge,
Yeah.
you know, what can you do? But like you said, it's like, and this isn't the first time this has come across, and people just go, oh, like, don't let him get to you, whatever. But it's like if it's an everyday thing, in all honesty, this man has been probably hearing this stuff since he got drafted, maybe even before that. Like he had a whole NFL career full of Philly fans, like probably being a-holes to him as
Yeah.
well. So that's like a decade plus of people telling you that stuff, saying stuff about your family, whatever it may be. Now, closer to his retirement years, he became more of like a household name just because of like when we won the Super Bowl, he did the whole like speech thing. And then he has the podcast with his brother. His brother's obviously dating Taylor Swift, which is like a big deal because of who she is. His mom got more coverage around the time they went to Super Bowl the second time because it's like both brothers were playing in the Super Bowl. Like their whole family has become a lot more well known, at least people
Yeah.
who pay attention to the NFL.
Hmm.
So like a lot of more media attention, which causes a lot more a-holes to make comments about that kind of stuff. His wife, like I think it was this summer, got into another like a similar altercation because they went out to dinner down the shore, him and his wife, and like some lady was like saying stuff to them, and she was the one who got into the argument. So it's like, how many times are you gonna keep doing that stuff, and then to a point where you just kind of snap? Like it's
Yeah.
kind of annoying. So it sucks. The wording, not the best because I'm not a fan of that word. I don't use that word in my own vocabulary. But in that context, like you defending your brother, you're heated. I cannot say that I wouldn't have done anything similar, if not the exact same. So yeah, everybody's on his side. Everybody, and then there's other a-holes that I guess aren't Eagles fans, are just annoying. They're just like, oh, he's gonna get sued because he took his phone. Da da da. It's like, all right, he already started with, like, technically speaking, there's already verbal assault on display. And you also don't want to be the guy who puts his name out there when he tries to sue Jason Kelce for breaking his phone.
Yeah. That's
Especially
true.
especially in this state.
Yeah.
Where Jason Kelce legitimately, I've said this numerous times, if he wanted to run for mayor of the city of Philadelphia, he could do it and win.
Because
Especially with the way that this current mayor is trying to sign off that whole thing in the center city, he could just easily just be like, if I'm mayor, we're not going to do it. Also, I'm Jason Kelce. Goodbye. And then he would win.
oh my gosh.
So, yeah. Also, these are just, I've said it before, like a while ago. Some people look at me crazy when I say it, but this is just one of those things where it's like the internet versus real life being a thing and realizing you're in real life. And these are the result of a lot of people who just never been punched in the face before. you don't act that way unless you know there's consequence coming out of that. And the internet has taught a lot of people that like, you can't do anything to me because I'm talking crap online, and they bring it to real life.
Mm-hmm.
And then when something really gets real, like you see how quickly he switches up the minute his phone gets grabbed.
Yeah.
Like his whole attitude switches. And like, obviously, you know, violence isn't the answer. Oh, but like if you're so docile and like so calm all the time and try to be the peacemaker, people sometimes take advantage of that. And like sometimes just a good slap across the face to show you like, don't play with me can go a long way.
Just gotta stand on business.
Yeah, like sometimes you gotta do it one time. And I promise, like now moving forward, like I promise you won't see another situation like that with Jason Kelce again.
Probably not. No. Yeah.
Easy. If he wanted to take a step further, he could have knocked that guy's light out, but knock his block off.
Yeah.
But obviously he can't do that because he probably lose like TV deals and his podcasts and other businessy stuff. So it's wild what commercials be down.
I've been seeing that man on my TV every time I watch YouTube.
Yeah.
Any ads I get, I know some of it has to be him.
So, you know, he did his best. What can you do? And I don't even think, and he's made enough money where I don't think he cares if he loses that or not. But everybody's on his side, so I think they'll be all right. But yeah, I'll say it time and time again. Sometimes you just gotta smack somebody across the face or punch them in the face, beat them up a little bit, send a message. Again, it's easy to say, "Oh, it's not the answer." Da, da, da. But sometimes talking really doesn't do anything. Like there's a point where it's like, all right, you're not gonna like your mind's not gonna change, and you're gonna keep disrespecting me. So it's like, all right, cool. Like I'm gonna tell you in a way that you have to understand. I'm not saying that's you should be your initial reaction.
Yeah.
But it's safe to say that Jason Kelce has been quiet and respectful enough times that he's like, all right, like clearly y'all not getting it. And he didn't have security with him.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm sure from now on he'll probably have more security walking around with him.
100%, yeah.
But that was the situation. And F that guy, support Jason Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's all
Except for Mayor.
Absolutely. He has my vote. After Mayor Nutter, he's still the mayor to me. You know?
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know a single mayor since Mayor Nutter.
That's the only name I really think of when I hear mayor.
He was really in these streets to the point that I know his name.
Yeah.
Every mayor since that has been like Biden, where it's just like, where are you at? I don't even know what you look like. I could walk past the mayor of Philadelphia right now in the street and not know that it's her.
Yeah, honestly, I could do the same thing.
Mayor Nutter, though, best believe I'm recognizing that man.
Yeah.
I know those glasses anywhere.
100%.
But literally, it's crazy this happened all within the same week. But Joel Embiid, he pushed a reporter earlier this week in the locker room. I don't know if you. There's no video, but it was like reported. There's an NBA, I think it's a Sixers specific reporter, Marcus Hayes, I believe his name is. I don't know if you know, but both Joel Embiid and Paul George have been injured for the beginning of the season. The Sixers are like 1-5, 1-4, something like that. We're not doing well. Tyrese Maxey's doing his best. He's doing his best. We love you, Tyrese. But they haven't been playing well. They don't have all their guys. Obviously, when you're missing Joel Embiid, and it's shown in the past that without Joel Embiid, the Sixers literally like go to shit. But they're both injured or recovering from injury. There's been a lot of criticism because like Joel was like, obviously he played on Team USA and he won gold. He's playing during the summer, and it's like months past and now you're not ready to play in the NBA. What's up? You just signed a contract extension this offseason. You're not in the game. What's going on? Paul George, we saw what happened in preseason. He hyperextended his leg. Try to be careful with that instead of rushing him back and he's out for the season or something. And then that whole signing is pointless. Like we just wasted money. Then there's also, it came out that he won't be playing back-to-back games this season, which only happens like 8 times or 9 times a year. Essentially being like, if they play Tuesday and Wednesday, he's only going to play one of those 2 games just for like injury's sake. Like obviously we've come to a point where we realize like come playoff time, this man is on like life support every time because he gets hurt in some way. So they've accepted, he's like, yo, like I want to be there for a legitimate playoff run. If that means that I have to sit out a handful of games and avoid injury, then I'm going to do that this year just to have a chance to get a long playoff run.
Yeah.
Come May, June. The whole sports world was losing their mind over it, being like, why the hell would you do that? But in the same breath, criticize him when he's injured. So people are going to complain regardless. So all these things were mounting up. This is just struggling, so it's going to make it seem more like obvious, and they're going to bring it up more, like, oh, when are you coming back? Because your team is struggling. So it's evolved to a point where all these points have been brought up, and Marcus Hayes was like, oh, like you just don't want to be out there, like you just don't want to play, like you want to make your money, and you want to not play, and you're being lazy or whatever it may be. And then he wrote this whole article talking about that. He also mentioned his son, like, and he's like, oh, you said you want to leave a legacy for your son, but you're not playing. And then he also mentioned, he's like, oh, like you say you're playing for your brother, but you're not playing his brother who has passed away. So he basically like continued to make these remarks about him.
Yeah, that's wild.
And then he wrote this crazy long article just basically stating all those things. The whole week, Embiid has been receiving questions. He's getting frustrated. He's like, yo, like for y'all to say that I don't care is crazy. Because literally last playoffs, this man's face was like half frozen. He had his knees on like crazy. He was getting all this stuff done to him just to be on the court to make sure that they could win.
Yeah.
And put his butt, and literally every postseason is like that. The one prior, he had a whole face mask on because he had an orbital fracture. Yeah. So like, if he's not out there, it's because it's genuinely not the best idea for him to go out there.
Yeah, and y'all would complain more if he then can't play at all.
Yeah, he goes out there,
he pushed himself,
hurts himself, and he's out for the whole year, and then the whole season's done.
Yeah.
So it's like, pick one, bro.
Exactly.
So he just basically saying, like, for y'all to say that is very disrespectful. Like he said in a press conference. And then I guess he came across Marcus Hayes in the locker room at some point. There was an altercation.
Well.
And he stood on business. See, F around the fight. You gonna talk about my work ethic and what I'm doing, my son and my dead brother. And then I'm assuming whatever in that altercation, he says something, that reporter says something to even further it, because he ended up shoving him in the locker room.
And hey, man, I guess you would say you're lucky you just got a shove.
Yeah, that man's massive. So it's just, you can only get to a certain point, bro. It's one of those things like, oh yeah, cool. You can write an article online. You don't think it's gonna have real life repercussions. Like you're talking about a real person.
Yeah.
And other things they're probably dealing with in their own personal life.
About something that's not even that deep. Like it's deep to a sense of like, yeah, like, you're this, this athletic star. Like we understand that, but it's like, it's not to the degree where it's like you need to be out there because like it's life or death, type of situation. Like he's still going to be able to play.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it sucks he can't be there for his team, but like he's trying to save his own life.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not that he's not there. Like he's at the game. Like he's present there. It's not like he's off and doing vacation. Like he's doing what he can to get back.
Yeah.
But we've seen it before with other athletes where it's like you force them back. It's like Kevin Durant has done it. Klay Thompson has done it.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard has done it. There's a literal lawsuit going on right now with Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers because of that very reason. Because the trainer that like tried to help him recuperate from injury got fired because he told them it was going to take him 2 years to come back. And the Clippers basically said no, like he's playing like sooner than that. So it shows that it's happened before and it's continuously happening now. So now that he's protecting himself and honestly making the best decision for the entire season instead of just freaking out that we're losing games in October, November. When all this will go away if in May/June we're making a playoff run or holding the trophy at the end of the thing.
Yeah, because you just stuck it out. Yeah.
So, and we don't need it. We've shown before we've been number 1 seed. We've been the bottom. We've been in the middle. Like every year we get bounced in the second round. So as long as we're in the playoffs, we'll be all right. Like we just need a placement. And if it's been 5 games, bro? If we were like in January and he's still out, then it's like, all right. Or like we're close to the end of the season and so we're still out of it. It's like, all right, damn, like what's going on?
Yeah.
But bro, it's been 2 weeks? If that, like relax. Realize that
they try to just get him to push so they can make this arena, bro.
Obviously that he's probably gonna be retired by the time it's built.
Yeah.
Like, or he's not even probably gonna even be here.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, bro, it's like just because it's online doesn't mean I have real life because you were gonna come across him again. And even in the altercation, like even if he came up to you upset, you could have apologized.
Yeah, I realize when it comes to reporting about certain stuff that's sensitive like that, I never understand why they like have to take it the extra step. And I don't know I don't know if it's because it gets them this attention, but
That's usually
yeah,
what it is.
that's the only thing I can think of it. And I never understood why y'all need to do that. It's like, yeah, honestly, I don't understand it.
That's really all it comes down to. But it's like, yo, there's real life responses to that. It's real people. If
Exactly.
keep it
Yeah.
about the job though. Like if you want to say, oh, he's been like talk about how he's been his injury prone in previous years, whatever, and like how the team needs him, cool. But you didn't have
Yeah.
to bring his son
There's
up
ways to
or his
go
dead
around
brother
it.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing with Jason Kelsey. It's like you could have if that guy walking with his phone following Jason Kelsey is like, oh, Jason Kelsey, you suck. Like Jason would have been cool. But the minute you start showing slurs at his younger brother and girlfriend, like then it's personal life. Now it's beyond that.
Yeah.
Even if he said Travis Kelsey sucks, like, oh, like F the Chiefs or whatever, go Birds. Like nothing, it would have been cool. Like
Yeah.
maybe at the very minimum, Jason would be like, oh, like easy, whatever, like don't talk about it or
Take it
whatever.
easy. Take it easy.
But it was no need for anything extra than that.
Yeah.
But take that lesson with y'all people. Realize that if you F around, you might just find out. We're running out of time here, so we're gonna hop up out. Last closing statement, Mark, before we get out of here.
Go out and vote, people. I know at this point when y'all see this, yeah. Go out and vote. And yeah, just be kind to each other, love each other, be respectful to each other. Let's just make this world just a peaceful place.
Absolutely.
That's about it.
I echo that as well. Go out and vote. Respect each other with this election as well. Go vote. Saquon Barkley is a god.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni learn how to kick field goals and stop going for two, even though it's not working. Jalen Hurts is great. Devontae Smith is indestructible. Tyrese Maxey's great. Life is great. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.